Hello, welcome to another Biker's Travelog on RevelatorAlf. I hope you're enjoying the show so far. So, still out in Italy, I'm going to be doing more tracks and trails today. So, just look at where I am. So there's a set of mountains on the other side of the valley, and these are the mountains which I'm going to be investigating. So today's adventure is up there. So there's actually a trail that goes from the other side of that hillside, of the foothills, that actually zigzags, hairpins all the way up on the far side, just right on the peak on the other side, and then right into the other side where it's all shrouded in low cloud, or high mountain cloud, I suppose. Anyway, that's where I'm going today. Let's see how far I get. See you on the other side. Okay, so we made it up halfway up the track here, and right on top of the hill there you can see, or the mountain I should say, there's a church right on the top there, and also there's a town over there. Now this town was the site actually of a very unfortunate, very famous earthquake in the early 1980 I believe it was. This is a very strong earthquake. I think it was 6 or 7 on the Richter scale. Half the town was decimated. All the old town was completely ruined. We had a massive landslide, and the access road was all cut off. Now this access road here is right on the side of the mountain, and even every now and again now you have a landslide or part of the road falls away. So if you can actually look down there, that direction there, there's been another big landslide. So they always having to cut a new path, a new road to get up to the town. So this is an area called Campania. This is a little town called Senerchia. So early 80s, you know, it was a terrible place to be, totally cut off. In fact, the whole zone was totally cut off. But going to go up there, going to try and get up to the church. And there's actually another church a bit further on up. We're going to see if we can get up to that as well. Right, up into the town we go. It's a bit of a mixture of styles here. You've got the old and the new. So a lot of the old town was completely destroyed in the earthquake. So there's a mass rebuilding in this area. So a lot of the buildings that you see are very generic. They're earthquake proof now, or earthquake resistant. So they have a superstructure that you would find in a, you know, when they're building office blocks, that kind of thing. You know, reinforced columns, steel columns, that kind of thing. Reinforced concrete, and then it's just bricked in between. Whereas all the old town, the old buildings, well, they just fell away. So basically the town Senerchia was there, up there, and occupied this where we are now, and pretty much it all was crumbled away. You can see some of those old houses up there. They're just totally destroyed. They're all just made of stones really, so they didn't have a chance. They're actually trying to rebuild some of it now and make it habitable, but it's a long-term project, and it's still in a very precarious position as well. Right, okay, let's try and get up to the mountain then. So unfortunately the bike fell through again this morning en route to here. Basically it broke down, would you believe? So I'm going to try and do this in the car, a bit of biker spirit. I'm going to keep on going. So you can see this, although they look a bit worn, these buildings, actually underneath they're still relatively new. And I say, they're all built with this kind of earthquake proof or earthquake resistance structure. So they're resistant to all the tremors and everything like that. If they're really old buildings, they'd probably just fall away and break down. Okay, so I've never actually been up here. I have been told that it's not passable, but I'm going to go and give it a go. So this goes to the church at the top. Now the story behind the church, and they always seem to make these churches right in really hard places, don't right on top of mountains and stuff like that. Well, apparently, 1600 years ago, 2000 years ago, there was a saint who used to visit this area. In his honour, they built this church. Now, also, they were supposed to have created some kind of miracle in the local area, and a child was reborn. So they built this church, on top. Now you can see where I am. Look, it's just, this is what happens. You get an earthquake and the whole side of the mountain just comes away. They'll rebuild a road in time. But you can imagine in 1980, this whole side of the mountain just came away. And then they had to totally rebuild, the town below. So, right, getting right up here now. So this is a tarmac road, and it will actually get up into a rocky track in the end. Right, so I can see the church on my left hand side. Just gonna keep on going. See if there's a little way up. Wow. Let's see if I can get up here a bit more. Hold on 1 second. I'll just pull over here. Okay, so made it halfway up the mountain now, and it is a very dodgy road, I've got to say. But I have been told, I asked a couple of the locals, and I have been told that further up here there's a landslide I can't get by, and they wouldn't have even been able to get by on a motorbike either. Anyway, so that is the new church, or newish church, down there. Okay, and there is a trail that goes from just about 100 yards down this road, actually past it, and it will take you right to that bit. But that's the newer church of St. Michael, San Michele, and that's the older church just up there, and that's the one that's fallen down as well. So you can see, look, these are right on top of the mountain, so, and you wonder how the hell, why, do people or do, believers decide to actually go and build something right on top of a mountain? I suppose it's something to do with trying to be closer to God. I don't know, maybe. I'm not trying to be flippant here. I'm honestly asking a question. Is it because you're trying to be closer to God? Is it about sacrificing that, a sense of sacrifice? You have to go through hardship to get up to heaven, that kind of thing. So they build it in a really hard place. Possibly, I don't know. But it's a very impressive thing. Right, now there's supposed to be another one right at the very top, but it's nothing like this. It's more like it's a shrine, I should say. But I doubt very much we'll be able to get there. But we're going to go and give it a go. So, as I say, wasn't able to get the bike. The bike broke down. Hoping to get that sorted by tomorrow or the day after. But anyway, so the old faithful car is still helping me on my journey. I'm going to be getting up to there somehow, and it's supposed to zigzag all the way up through. Now, looking at that, I can't see it at all. I can't see this happening at all. But go and give it a go. Right, on we go. See whereabouts this takes me. Now, I'm actually surprised this is a tarmac road. The last year when I came here, this wasn't even accessible. This wasn't even made, apparently. And, you take your luck really, whether it's workable or not. Right. Look at here. You know what? What's going on? So this is an old. So this is no way. So there's a spring here, but they blocked off the access. It's because it's there's loose rocks coming down there as well. Well, okay. Right, so this must be an older road because I can see this is a man-made wall right on the right-hand side. Do you know what? Maybe this road has been here a lot longer. I was just told that this was never made before. This is my first time coming up here, so there we go. See all the rocks that have fallen down here on the ground. Oh, I can see a car ahead. Look, somebody's coming up to this point. There's private access up here, is it? Possibly? Don't know. Wow. Well, as I say, I wonder if they were mistaking the road is blocked with that gate, because that gate might have been closed. That's why you couldn't get through. It was open, so just keep on going up and see how far I get. And the drop on my left-hand side, there isn't a barrier or anything like that. So, I mean, this is taking me right down the side of the mountain there. Wow. Very interesting, you know, actually driving or riding on these kind of roads. You know, because you're on hairpins, you just have to go so slowly and just... Where am I here? Yeah, look, because they've cut... These are the hairpins, what I was talking about then. And this is the one that meanders up the mountain. Amazing. So, you know, in years gone by, if this trail was here, then it would have gone... it would have just been... you know, totally destroyed. Any sort of tremor, landslide, rock slide will just, you know, create havoc here. And that's what you find a lot of these roads in this area, especially the access road into the town below, Senerchia. It's constantly suffering with landslides, and the roads are constantly having to be repaired, or they're having to make detours to cut into the rock to make a new track, new road. So this part here should take me to one of the highest peaks, or near the highest peaks, Mount Polveraccio, and that's at about 5,000 feet. I think it's about 1,790 meters, I think. I don't know. I am actually following my nose here. I'm just thinking, well, I'll keep on going until I can't go any further. Wow. I think, you know, whenever you're exploring, what's the point of exploring or adventure riding? You know, it's actually just going out there and seeing something new, isn't it? And just going to somewhere you've not been to before, and just, you know, seeing how far you get. You don't have to get, you know, completely into, you know, 2 foot of mud and, you know, fighting ruts and all that sort of stuff. You know, it's just about going on an adventure, going and exploring. You know, everybody has a different idea what an adventure is. And you can see here, we've had landslide, but they've come and cleared it away. So this is going to be a common thing. I think we're lucky as well with the weather right now, and it's actually really warm today and really sunny. So that's why I haven't got any snow on top of the mountains either. Bloody hell. And this really is just cut through rock here. So at some point, it just might not be accessible for me anymore. Wow, in a rocky road now. Really, it's cutting up the side of the mountain here. So luckily there hasn't been much rain recently, I would imagine, so it hasn't really created a lot of channels, hasn't really washed any rocks down. So this is that's actually relatively easy going so far. Even I'm in a, you know, poxy little, you know, rental car, so it's actually doing all right. Relatively flat. And I was told that even if I did get through, you'd only be able to get up here with a 4x4. There's no other way of getting up here. Well, I think, you know, sometimes people, they're genuine, but there's a lot of scare tactics going on, you know, and you just have to go and give it a go and see. Sometimes these things just, you know, work. You can get up these things just on small vehicles or any kind of vehicle. Especially when it's dry, you know, you got to take your time with them, of course. Interesting, I can actually feel the air getting thinner as well. My ears are starting to pop a little bit as they're coming up here. Yeah, I think this is it. This is about as far as I can get here. Keep on going. I thought that was going to be the end of it there, that rocky bit. Wow. I never thought I'd be able to get up here. And back onto a bit of a tarmac bit. Unbelievable. Right, so I keep on going up here. Behind me. To this bit here. On we go. And it might be the case that it's gone as far as I can go, really. But as long as there is a track to be driven or ridden, then just keep on going. Look, even at altitude you get bloody litter. Unbelievable. Take your crap home with you. Right. Yeah, just keep some power on. Keep on up. I think the key is whatever you're off-roading, whether in car or on a bike, you know, sometimes, yeah, you have to add a bit of power, but just about momentum. Just keep the momentum going and just see, you know, see if you can get up there. I mean, this is relatively compact. I'd feel a lot more comfortable if I was on a bike, I must say, coming up here in terms of traction, getting up here, but it's working, and I'm amazed actually how this track is taking me right up to the peak of the mountain. You sometimes look at Google Earth images and you think, this is never going to work. No, there's no chance. And knowing the local area, how I do, you know, especially because of the earthquake zone and, you know, landslides and things, I think, no, I'll never make it. But it's worth giving it a go. You speak to local people and they say, no, you'll never make it. But then, you know, that's what the adventurous spirit is all about, isn't it? It doesn't necessarily mean, that you have to, you know, just blindly go into places without thinking about it and being irresponsible and putting your own life at risk and all that kind of stuff. However, you know, just get up there. Go and give it a go at least, or see how far you can get, you know. I will be ultra surprised if I get to the top. But I've got to come up at least 2/3 of the way now. Must be 2/3 at least. Here we go. Right. Ta-da. I knew there was. Alright, so let me just park this here. Well, I'm halfway up the mountain, or 3/4 of the way up the mountain. You can see down into the valley below. And here is the shrine which I was talking about. Right on top of the mountain. So here. Wow. And this overlooks the town of Senerchia right below. So that is town of Senerchia all the way down there. So I'm right on top here, and look, you can see I'm very close to the summit here, and actually there is the church. So here's a little shrine, here's a little marker, Christian marker, and that is the church, the sacred church that overlooks the town. So the lower church is St. Michael Church, and this is the first St. Michael Church. I think it's been renovated, but the site is the same. You can see, you know, okay, now I know this road is amazing, and I'm so surprised I've got up here by car. I was convinced the only way to get up here was on foot or by motorbike. Everybody told me there's no way you get up there on a car. But, you know, I've proved them wrong, haven't I? The air is a lot thinner up here. You can tell it. My ears are popping as well. Let's go and have a look at this church, shall we? Or this chapel. It's more like a chapel, isn't it? It's amazing that it's just, you know, it's accessible to the public. You know, worshippers, whatever. See if there's a name of this chapel. No. Is it open? I wonder if it's open. I doubt it is. Oh, lizard. No, it'd be locked, wouldn't it? I mean, just you can just see what kind of a kind of a view this is. You know, I'm not a very religious person. I'm a spiritual person, I think. I'm not a religious person. But you kind of do feel godly like up here. Do you know what I mean? That you are closer to God. You are closer to some kind of spiritual being. Maybe that's why they build them on top of mountains, you know. The sacrifice to get up there. You know, the pilgrimage, as it were, to get up to, you know, get up a mountain. I think this, you know, this part of the world, for me, has always been a very special place. Because of the mountains, the mountain air, because of where my family's from, because I've got a home here as well, a second home here as well, in the mountains, but just the history behind it. And because all the suffering in recent times, in my lifetime, that's gone on around here. You know, people still talk about the earthquake, you know, of the 80 earthquake. And, you know, the tremors and the aftershocks, and the people are still living with that. Yes, there was a mass rebuilding program, and the Italian government put in lots and lots of money, you know, to help people rebuild. Yeah, but it took a long time coming, and people took a long time to build their homes up, and they're all built in the same sort of fashion now. You know, it's almost, whilst it is necessary to build houses in such a way because it's an earthquake area, it's also lost a little bit of its charm. You know, that rustic, you know, what the Italians call the rustico, you know, that rustic feeling about the place, about the old towns, about the old buildings. That's, I wouldn't say it's gone, but, you know, half of it has fallen down through tremors and earthquakes. So it's all been replaced by this new stuff, which kind of looks a bit worn and dated now, obviously, you know, but we are still in quite a relatively rural and poor area. A poorish area, I would say, but, you know, it's, it has lost a little bit, I would say. And this church, obviously, I mean, it's an old church, but it's a relatively new structure. You know, I think this was a stone structure before, and then it is all, you know, it's all fallen down. But right, let's see how much further up I can get up the mountain. Woo! Right then, let's keep on going up here. It's constantly going uphill here. That's a bit of power. Wow. Oh. I assume it's this way. I mean, it's a sheer drop on either side. You know, these hairpins that just go up, and it's. You are hoping that the land doesn't fall away from you. Plus, they've even made a bloody park here. What? There's a lookout park, and there's a. Catch that on the way down, I think. Right, so I can already tell that the ground is just getting a bit more damp up here. So there hasn't been a lot of rain, but I have noticed that a lot of the, you know, the peaks have been covered in cloud. So it might be a case that it just gets wet up here the further I get. It might just not be accessible anymore. The tyres start spinning and stuff like that. Fuck me, this is bloody deliverance country around here. That's what I mean. Up here you get goat herders that kind of live up here as well. Sheep herders, so they'll come up here, spend a couple of days with the sheep or the goats, and that's why you kind of get, you know, some very solitary people, let's put it that way, up here. Wow. Look, it's a hard, compact trail. I'm so surprised. I'm so surprised. Yeah, I'm sure at some point, yeah, I'm going to reach a point where I'm not going to be able to go any further. However, right now, whoa. Keep it going. As I say, I have lucked out with the weather. No, it hasn't rained, so because it hasn't rained, you know, the trails are getting damper, but they're not wet. So at least I'm not, you know, I'm able to maintain some traction going up here. Watch out for these rocks as well. Always looking around me as well, up the side of the mountain, see if there's potentially anything that can come down on me. Wow. Just goes up and up and up and up and up. What a road. What a trail. Look at this. Unbelievable. I know I keep on saying unbelievable, but to me this really is unbelievable, because I've never known this to be open, never known it to be you know, even workable. This must be a very relatively new thing that they've come up here and they've managed to compact it down, level it off somehow, clear the landslides. You know, a bit further down, when I was actually coming up the newly formed rocky road, as it were, that there was a landslide there, I'm sure, and they've had to redo that. But this whole top section would have been completely inaccessible for months, possibly years, you know. Or just keeping a real good look ahead to try and make an early decision as well, whether I can continue or whether I'm going to need to try and find a way to double back down. But you know, it just keeps on opening up. It just keeps on getting better and better. I mean, it is just unbelievable. I can't use another word for it. It's just amazing. Wow. This is a small engine car as well. You know, so I think at some point I get higher up, it is going to start struggling. And luckily, you know, the way they've done this, the way they've built this track or redone this track, is that it's never that much of an incline going up. You know, it's, you know, they've thought about this and actually made it accessible and, you know, drivable. Oh, fucking hell. Out the way, cows. Oh, oi, oi. Stop my momentum there. Just got to be careful there not to get kicked out by the cows as well. Wow, so lucky, so fortunate today that, you know, I was even remarking to one of the people down at the bottom in the valley, we were talking about how surprisingly warm it is. Now Italy, southern Italy, is going to be warm anyway, but here in the mountains it actually gets quite cold from about October onwards. And it's a funny thing, you can either have really warm days or really cold days. And I say, I've been here before where you had snow on the mountains, where it's been raining every day, or sleet and snow. And then other times I've been here and it's like this, you know, it's very changeable. Mountain weather is very changeable anyway. And coming from England, you know, the weather is very changeable. That's why we're so obsessed with the bloody weather anyway, you know. But coming up here, wow. I know when they say making videos, you know, you should cut it up and everything, but, you know, edit it off and make little short sections. But I don't know, sometimes I really like watching these kind of videos and watching the whole route, the whole process up, you know. So I think that's why I'm going to leave this video, if I survive it, that is. I'm just going to leave it as a wanna. And so, you know, you can get the whole feeling of coming up this mountain. I'm still not convinced I'm going to get up to the top. I'm still not convinced. But here, look, they've had another landslide here from the left and the right. They've cleared it away. They come up here with a bulldozer. They must have done. I mean, to come up here with a bulldozer, I mean, fair play to them. This is going to take a long time to get up here. Another top tip when you're obviously driving, all right, I'm driving now, so, you know, be a driving tip, but riding as well, you know, I say never, you know, the whole point is just to keep on moving and to keep rolling through and, you know, to keep that traction and momentum. If you stop, then you're going to struggle to get going again. So you're going to have to add power and you're going to lose traction. But once you're rolling, you know, you don't really need to, you know, have high revs. But, you know, keeping it in a low gear will help you get up there, going up there or coming back down. Right, here is where I think I may struggle now. Oh, well, there you go. Didn't think that this car could even get up the mountain in the wet or the dry. Christ, that is a real drop down there. There's nothing holding me back here going down off the mountain. And there is nothing, no barrier here, that's for sure. Wow. Thinks I'm so close now. I'm so close to actually getting to the top. Now I know that the trail on this trail doesn't take me actually to the top of the summit, the very top of the summit. But you've got a cow farmer here, or coat. So a lot of people do live right up here. Unbelievable. Bloody hell, look at this. Whoa. There we go. I wish I had an altimeter with me, seeing how high I am now. I've got to be getting close to 4,000 feet, I would imagine here. 4,000 or 5,000 feet, possibly. Starting to struggle with the traction here a little bit. I try and keep it up, keep my wheels on the compacted bit if I can. Oh, look at this. Had a bit of power going up the hill. This is actually turned into a bit of a flat trail, so I'm not going any higher now. I think I'm just going round to, around the other side of the mountain. There's a little reversing spot there. I need, if I gotta get myself out of jail. Wow. I struggle to get up here. I think I am. See, nobody's been up here because all the leaves are all fresh. Trailblazing that I am. Starting to climb up again. Wow. Got to be getting very close now to the very top, I would have thought. God, look at this. I'm perched right on the top here. Don't know if the trail is a hairpin here, or is it? I think it is, yeah. Oh yeah. Another hairpin. Another rocky road. I'm pretty much at the summit here. Unbelievable. I never thought I'd actually get there. This is unmarked for me. It's not on a map. It's not on Google Earth. Google Earth hasn't caught up with this trail. This all looks relatively newly cut as well, although they are using it. I can see that they've, you know, come up here on you know 4x4s or whatever. Fuck me, that's a big ball. What's this? Made it a regional park up here. Bloody hell. This is it. This is... So you come all the way up here and they got a park up here. Unbelievable. Wow, this is all new to me. They've got a park right on top of the bloody mountain. Wow, this is a modern life, isn't it? Modern accessibility. Wow, look at that. So there is a track that will take you right up there. This car is not going to get up there. That'll be a 4x4 type deal. But I'm right at the summit here. Unbelievable. Let's see if this will take me around a little bit. I'm, you know, speechless. I've still got a working track that goes all the way up here. And I'm right at the summit as well, and I think this is about 4,000 meters, sorry, 4,000 feet I should say, this one. I've got to be careful here, don't want to get caught out. dock here, do I? Alright. So basically the summit is right to my right hand side. And this is a flat track, so this is actually not taking me to the summit. This is taking me on the other side now. I see a bend up ahead. Let's see where that takes me. That just takes me around a bit more. Oh, here's a popping. What I'm going to do is reverse back or turn back round, because this is actually just taking me down the other side now. I'm going to try and double back and get back to that summit. If I have to get up on foot, I get up, yeah, because this is actually trying to take me downhill now. So, is there a way to turn? Okay. Let's have a look. Stay close in. Let's see if there's a little turning spot here. So, because this is actually just taking me to here we go. Just taking me round as opposed to taking me to the top. So okay, on we go. Back around. Well, I'm so surprised I've even got here. What a trip. What a trip. Wow. There we go. And this is just so, and this time of year, say, you know, when the leaves are falling in autumn, it's just a great time, isn't it? Great time just to be out on the trails. So I am these trails in this car, you know, with this small car, and when it gets wet and slippery as well, I could see that trail was really just taking me around the mountain as opposed to taking me up to the summit, which is just here. Oops. So what to do? I'll just park the car here. Well, I made it. Very much. I was going to try and get up there with the car. I can see that's just too steep. The car's never going to make it. That car's never going to make it. But this is right on top of the mountain. I'm so surprised they could even get here by car. You know, I thought it was going to be a walk. That would have been one hell of a walk, I would have said, or a bike ride to get up there. You know, definitely a 4x4, or at least a 4x4. You know, but I'm here. Amazing. Well, as I say, hope you enjoyed this biker's travelogue, which actually was in the car in the end because the bike fell through. You know, this is earthquake country. This is landslide country. So, you know, come next week, this might not even be open. So I'll be lucky to get even this way, or even to the bottom, to the very first church that you saw. But you can see, you know, they're building churches right on the top of mountains or on the side of the mountains. You know, it's, you know, a sacrifice to build those things, but also just to make the pilgrimage to them, you know, whether you're on foot or whatever. You know, the hardship that people have in these earthquake zones, you know, when the earthquake actually hits and they're living in these, you know, old houses. That's why when you get, you know, earthquakes in, you know, the Middle East, for example, or in the Caribbean or places like that, and you know, you hear like hundreds of thousands of people dying or thousands and thousands of people dying, it's because the structures in which they're living are they're just not fit for purpose. They cannot withstand, you know, the earthquakes, you know, ground shifting. Whereas with these, yes, they can withstand up to a certain level, and that's going to give people a lot more protection. However, if they're building houses on the side of mountains and the side of the mountain falls away, you know, it doesn't matter if you're in earthquake proof, because actually the rock beneath you is totally disintegrated. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this biker's travelogue. Going to be a few more trails which I'm going to be exploring this week, just over onto that side, well, see how far I get. But if you like the video, please like it, please subscribe, tell your friends, hit the notifications button, and please tell me about your, you know, little trips or anything that you saw on this video that you thought, you know, could have been better, or anything that you liked as well. Leave a comment below and I'll definitely try and answer as many as I can, if not all of them. But anyway, this has been Biker's Travelogue on RevelatorAlf. Hope you enjoy it. Catch you on the next one.